personally revealing his own omnipotence and his supremacy that is unknown even to the Vedas. And he promised that he would distribute the holy name to everyone in this age except the offenders at the feet of Vaishnavas. So Mahaprabhu also predicted that his name would be spread to every town and village throughout the world. Changing his plan to go to Mathura, Mahaprabhu started walking south from Ramakeli and eventually reached the house of Advaita in Shantipura. In this connection, the author relates an incident to show the difference between the extraordinary attachment for Lord Chaitanya of Sri Achyutananda, the son of Sri Advaita, and the behavior of Advaita's other so-called sons who are averse to Lord Chaitanya. One day, an exalted sannyasi came to Sri Advaita's house and inquired from him about how Keshava Bharati was related to Chaitanya. According to worldly etiquette, Sri Advaita Acharya said that Keshava Bharati was a spiritual master of Chaitanya. On hearing this reply, the 5-year-old naked Achyutananda smilingly, yet in an angry mood, asked his father what kind of conclusion was it that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, the spiritual master of all the spiritual master, has a spiritual master. After hearing this conclusive statement from his 5-year-old son Achyutananda, Sri Advaita Acharya said that Achyuta was actually the father and he was the son. Achyutananda has appeared in this world as a son to teach the actual truth. When after speaking in this way, Advaita begged forgiveness from his son, Achyutananda became embarrassed and bent his head down. And on seeing the proper exchange of etiquette between a perfect father and a perfect son, the sannyasi became stunned and then happily left that place while chanting the name of Hari. In this regard, Thakura Vrindavana describes the glories of Sri Achyutananda, who is fixed at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya and the position of Sri Advaita's other so-called sons who are fit to be punished by Yamaraja. When Sri Advaita Acharya was thus overwhelmed by the behavior of Sri Achyutananda, Sri Gaurasundara arrived here with his associates. Sriman Mahaprabhu bestowed special mercy on Achyutananda and stayed at the house of Advaita to enjoy his Sankirtana pastimes. Advaita Acharya then sent a palanquin and some men to Navadvipa to bring Mother Sachi, who was afflicted with separation from the Lord and who was non different from Mother Yashoda, to Shantipura. Immediately after hearing about the Lord's arrival, when Mother Sachi, along with Ganga Dasa Pandita, Murari Gupta, and other devotees came to Shantipura, Mahaprabhu circumambulated her and offered prayers to her by addressing her as Devaki, Yashoda, Devahuti, Prishni, Kaushalya, and Aditi. The devotees glorified the wonderful extent of Mother Sachi's devotional service and praised the glories of the name I. Advaita Acharya took permission from the Lord for Mother Sachi to personally cook and feed him. After Mother Sachi cooked various types of vegetables and as many as 20 varieties of Lord's favorite shaka and offered them to the Lord, Mahaprabhu relished those footsteps with great satisfaction while praising Mother Saji's wonderful cooking and the stimulation for varieties of service awakened by those various shakas, which are dear to Krishna. The nectarian remnants of Mahaprabhu were plundered and relished by the devotees. Then Sri Murari Gupta recited prayers in glorification to Lord Ramachandra before Mahaprabhu and his associates. Placing his lotus feet on Murari's head, Mahaprabhu awarded him the benediction that he would remain the eternal servant of Lord Rama. When a leper approached Mahaprabhu and related to him topics of his pathetic condition, Mahaprabhu became very angry. And after declaring that the leper was untouchable and unworthy of being spoken to, Mahaprabhu asked him to leave that place. He further pointed out that if he were unable to tolerate at present the pains of leprosy, then how would he tolerate the pains of suffering for unlimited future births in hell, known as Kumbhipaka? His present pathetic condition was a result of his committing offense at the feet of Srivasa. In this regard, Mahaprabhu glorified the unparalleled position of the Vaishnavas by describing how worship of Vaishnavas was superior to worship of Krishna and how offense to Vaishnavas was more grave than offense at the feet of Krishna. When the offending leper repented for his offensive act and surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord revealed to him that the only means for getting freedom from offense to a Vaishnava was to sincerely beg forgiveness at the feet of the Vaishnava whom one had offended. So, both the method of forgiveness, and one should not make an offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, because offending an Vaishnava can send us to hell and send us to untold miseries even in this world. So one has to be very, very careful, be very humble, and understand that even when a Vaishnava is giving a message or advice, such message, when a Vaishnava is speaking, Krishna is speaking through their heart. Because in the short life, one should never bring their false ego in the forefront and assume that, understand that our Sukruti, our ability to listen to the Shastras, to understand the Shastras, or to read the Shastras is only being given by great Vaishnavas. Because of Srila Prabhupada's Sukruti, the entire world, the Western devotees, the foreign body devotees, got the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, could go into every village, every town, every city. So every gram. So similarly, now it is spreading through every village, every town, every city. So in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy and heightened ego, heightened egoistic attitudes all over the place, being humble at the lotus feet of the gurus, at the shelter of the scriptures, and at the shelter of Senior Vaishnavas is very, very important. And we have to always remember not to even offend them through manasa, vacha, and karmana, so that we have a peaceful spiritual journey, because this journey is a very long one, because we have taken millions of births and we don't remember anything in any birth what we did. But Krishna, being the supreme Lord, and he keeps track of not only our previous birth but of every single thought we have, every single action we do, and every single word we have spoken. So whatever we have thought in mind, whatever we have spoken, and whatever we have done with our hands for previous million lifetimes are recorded in a chip for every living entity. In that every living entity, all the other insects, birds, animals, human beings, different races in human beings, everything comes. So all the information is stored. So it is not that we can escape by doing something, because the information is already stored. And Supreme Lord as Paramatma, residing in everybody's heart, has recorded this. So one has to be very conscious. That's why Srila Prabhupada called this Krishna conscious. So whatever you do, be Krishna conscious. Whether this will be pleasing to Krishna or not pleasing. If it is not pleasing to Krishna, it is not Krishna conscious at all. If it will please Krishna, yes, then that activity is a Krishna conscious. So we have to be fully aware, fully conscious, whatever we do in our day to day life, in our day to day dealings, or in our day to day karma, or whatever we want to do. That way, we try to stay offenseless and ask forgiveness directly to the Vaishnava. Either mentally you ask the forgiveness through the Lord, pray to the Lord, or approach the Vaishnava and say to him. Only then. We know the story of Durvasa Muni, who offended Ambrish Maharaj, and then he ran over the entire universe. He went to Shiva, he went to Brahma, then they led him to Vishnu, and Krishna said, "No, until my devotee says to forgive you, this Chakra is after you." So then he runs to Ambrish Maharaj. Ultimately, that devotee only has to forgive from the heart. Okay, let's go further. When the leper then begged Srivasa for forgiveness, by Srivasa's mercy, he became free from offense. So this is another example. This leper had offended, made an offense to Srivasa, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu banished him. He rejected this leper. But then only when he said the Vaishnava will give forgiveness, only then he can have a chance. At the outset of describing Sri Madhavendra Puri's appearance festival, the author describes in brief the glories of Sri Madhavendra Puri and how he met Sri Advaita Prabhu. While Mahaprabhu and his associates stayed at the house of Advaita, the appearance festival of Sri Madhavendra Puri arrived. Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, along with Mahaprabhu and the devotees, celebrated the occasion with a huge Sankirtana festival. In this regard, the author describes the ecstatic condition of Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Prabhu, and other devotees during the celebration of the festival. The cooking arrangements made by the Vaishnava's wife under the direction of Mother Sachi, Mahaprabhu's ecstasy in the Kirtana, his revelation of Advaita's glories, and the method for worshipping Krishna's dear devotee, Lord Shiva. Mahaprabhu and the devotees Kirtana during the festival honoring Madhavendra Puri, the Lord's pastime of honoring Prasada, and topics such as the Lord's offering flower garlands and sandalwood pulp to the devotees headed by Sri Nityananda. So we'll just start entering few verses before ending for today. जय जय कृपा सिंधु जय गौर चंद्र जय जय सकल मंगल पद द्वंद. All glories to Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the ocean of mercy. All glories to his auspicious lotus feet. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Nyasi Raja. Jaya Jaya Chaitanyera Bhakata Samaja. All glories to Sri Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the best of sannyasis, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. हे नामाते प्रभु सर्व जीव उद्धारिया मथुराया चली लेना भक्त गोष्ठी लाया. After delivering all the living entities in Kuliya Grama, the Lord left towards Mathura along with his devotees. गंगा तीरे तेरे प्रभु लाई लेना पथा स्नाना पाने पूरना गंगारा मनोरथा. The Lord took the path along the side of the Ganges and fulfilled her desire by bathing in and drinking her waters. So glorious, this statement again. I remember the Kumbh Mela. We were walking along the path of Ganga, and this line immediately reminds us how devotees were led by Mataji. And I can still remember Bade Prabhuji. The rush was too much that day. 1.6 crore people were in Prayagraj. That is the statistics given. That was Shivratri day. And all the devotees were bound because we didn't have ropes, because we had seen in previous YouTube that to keep your flock together, at least nobody should get lost. People were of different ages. So we, instead of rope, we picked up our shawls and dupattas and tied a nice circle in which all the devotees were pulled, directed through the entire 25-kilometer walk, ups and downs, crossing the river, bridges, pontoons. So amazing. We did the Ganga Parikrama. I think it is very, very auspicious to do the Parikrama, to walk along the sides of Ganga and later on take bath in the same river. It is really glorious. गौडेर निकटे गंगा तीरे एक ग्राम ब्राह्मण समाज तारा राम केली नाम. There is a village on the bank of Ganges near the capital of Gauda named Ramakeli. So in Gauda Desh, there is this village called Ramakeli. Then the inhabitants of the villages were all Brahmanas. Sri Ramakeli is situated 8.5 miles south of English Bazar near the present city of Malda. Within this village, there is a concrete paved area, and in the middle of this, there is a large tamala tree with two kadamba trees on each side of it. The two kadamba trees on the right side are referred to as Sri Advaita Prabhu. The middle Namal tree is referred to as Sri Gaura Sundara, and the two Kadamba trees on the left side are referred to as Nityananda Prabhu. It is said that Sriman Mahaprabhu first met Srila Rupa and Sri Sanatan Goswami Prabhus in the dead of night under this tree. Sitting in this place, Sriman Mahaprabhu instructed Sri Sanatana to join him. Next to the Kadamba trees, there is a small temple wherein Sri Madana Mohan Deva is worshipped. The deity of Sri Madana Mohan Deva was established by Sri Rupa and Sanatana. There are four sets of deity within this temple, and one of those sets is Sri Baladeva and Revati. The names of the deities from the left are Brajamohana with Radha, Revati Ramana with Revati, and Madana Mohana and Gopinatha with Radha. There are also Shaligrama Shilas in the temple. In the midst of the deities, there are two deities of Sri Gaura Sundara, one of Sri Advaita Prabhu and one of Nityananda Prabhu. There are 125 bhigas of land, about 42 acres, allotted to the service of the deities from the public. And from the public, a sum of 122 rupees was allocated, one of which 80 rupees was given to the government. North of Sri Madan Mohana temple is Sri Sanatana Kunda. Around that place are 8 other kundas headed by Sri Radha Kunda, Shama Kunda, Lalita Kunda, and Vishaka Kunda. A little distance from here is a large lake named Sri Rupa Sagara, which was established by Sri Rupa Goswami. This Rupa Sagara is situated between Sri Madan Mohana temple and the court of Hussain Shah. The bathing ghats of Rupa Sagara are covered with marble. On one of those marble slabs, it is written, "This is Rupa Sagara Ghata of Sri Ramakeli, was built in 1268 of the Bengali era from the donations of the mercantile communities of the Malda district of Bengal. The water covers 10 bhigas, about 3.5 acres, and with the banks, it covers 20 bhigas. About a quarter of a mile south of Ramakeli is a large hall that is named Bara Duyari because it has 12 doors. Up to 1801, during the time of Krent Sahib, the pillars of this hall were covered with gold. This hall is known by people as the court of Hussain Shah. It is said that Dabir Khasa had his office in this court. There are four gateways situated on the four sides of this hall. It is said that the king used to enjoy Hayoya or fresh air at the Hayoya Kahana Ghata. It is further said that when Sri Sanatan escaped from prison by giving 7,000 gold coins to Yavana god, he crossed the Ganga at night, came to this place and began to cry out, "Shri Gauranga, Shri Gauranga." At that time, a crocodile came there and circumambulated Sri Sanatana 7 times. Sri Sanatana then sat on the back of that crocodile and crossed the Ganges. Sri Ganga Devi presently flows about half a mile from Sri Madan Mohana temple. Apart from these, many glories of Hussain Shah Badshah are still present there. There is a Dakhala Daroyaja, a main entrance, a Parikha, a moat, and a Firoja Khan, the oldest ruin, a tall tower from which one could see the entire city of ancient Gouda. There are also ruins of the treasury, the library, and the Lotana Mosque, which is one of the finest examples of architectural work. Before Muslim rule, this place was capital of Lakshmana Sena known as Lakshmanavati. Its ruins can still be seen here. The capital of the Sena dynasty, situated in the Malda district, was the capital of Gouda. The Ganges presently flows some distance from this place, and the village of Ramakeli is situated a short distance from the capital of Gouda. Both Sri Sanatana and Rupa Goswami used to live in this village of Ramakeli. There's an amazing incident here. In this Malda district, the Ganges flows, and when you cross the Malda by train, you almost cross 2 kilometers breadth of the Ganga's breadth is 2 kilometers here, more than 2 kilometers. And it is very ferocious. Ganga flows with a great force through Malda. Dinachari Pancha Prabhu Sei Punya Sthane Asiya Rahila Yena Keha Nahi Jane. The Lord came to that holy place and stayed there for 4 or 5 days without the knowledge of others. Suryera udaya ki khaka na gopyahaya sarvaloka sunilena chaitanya vijaya. How is it possible to hide the sun? Everyone soon came to know, heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival there. Sarvaloka dekhite aisa harsha mane, Sri Balaka Vriddha Adi Sajjana Durjane. Everyone became very, very happy. Stree, women, Balaka, children, Vriddha, old people, pious people, Sajjana and Durjane, Papi, all became very joyful to see the Lord. So we'll stop here, I think, at verse 8 of chapter 4 and continue from verse 9 from tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for patiently listening. ग्रंथ चैतन्य भागवत की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandut Pranam. Thank you for wonderful class.
हरे कृष्णा. ऑल वांजा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So we'll end the class here, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ananda Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna.